from right here. I haven't prepared anything. My friend Marina called me last night. She was kind enough to check in on me to make sure I got to London okay. And she's like, tell me about your talk. What are you talking about? I was like, I don't know. I believe it was like 11:30 we're having this chat last night. She goes, what do you mean you don't know? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, the talk's not till 11:30 tomorrow. We got plenty of time. And the reason I share that is I want this interaction to be really organic, right? All you guys have spent your money, which is, you can make more, but all of you are spending your most valuable resource, which is your time, to come and sit here, listen to a guy that you know nothing about, right? So what I want to do for you is deliver something authentic. I'm going to speak from here. I'm going to share a few stories. This is going to be story time. I've had the pleasure of working with Steve for officially 300 hours in that chair with this crazy man. That'll change you. And so I'm going to share, I'm going to give you a perspective, right? Forget my credentials. I'll talk about what I do briefly just so you have a sense of who's standing up here. But the biggest credential that really matters to the people in this room today is that most of you are here because you've read the book. And if you've read the book, you're curious about Steve. And not everybody in this room has had an opportunity to spend time with Steve. So what I want to relate to you is what that experience is like. Because it's a gift. Yeah? So that's kind of where we're going to go with all of it. First and foremost, my main man, Alan. Thank you for that brilliant intro. Very efficient. You've learned how to outsource everything. I try to do that in my companies. It's amazing. I will introduce you by introducing Steve to introduce you. That's, sir, is well done. That's efficient. Hired. I could use you in a couple of my companies. So Steve talks a lot about acknowledgement, and the first person I want to acknowledge to start this conversation is, let me tell you the story first. So why am I here? I am not a life coach. I'm not a coach at all of any sort. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman. I run a private equity firm. I've had the pleasure, as I said, working with Steve. So this really nice gentleman, his name is Raghav. Stand for a moment, please. Thank you. Round of applause, please. He's one of the guys he's the reason that you all have chosen to subject yourself to me for 35 minutes. So you can find him afterwards if this doesn't go well. But here's the story. So I don't know Raghav at all. He connects with me on social media. I think he sends me a really lovely message on Facebook. That's all I know of him. Seems like a lovely guy. And I said, sure, next time I'm in London, let's meet for coffee. That's the extent of the conversation. Somehow he gets a hold, very resourceful, my phone number, my WhatsApp, sends me a video of him. I have a request. I'm going to make a request, but before I make the request, I wanted to he wanted me to experience his way of being while he was making the request. And he made a request. We're planning this event in London. Will you please come and speak? That was the easiest no ever. I don't do this, right? I'm not a speaker. This is not what I do. So it was a very easy no in my mind, and I was polite about it. I was like, okay, let me think about it. Why don't you get in touch with my assistant? And if I tell you get in touch with my assistant, I'm giving away my secrets. And I was like, yeah, we'll figure it out. It's in London. My travel's really busy, so I don't know if I can do it, but let me think about it. And that was not me being disingenuous. I wanted to be helpful, but I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to be able to be helpful. So he's persistent, right? And this is one of the life lessons. You got to be persistent. So he sets up the time for a quick chat. I love that. Yeah, buddy. It's good. It keeps getting better. Enjoy it all. Woo! So he gets a hold of my number and convinces me to have a chat with him. And he gets on the phone and he says, I would really appreciate it if you would come and speak at this event. And in my head, nothing has changed. And then he says, let me tell you why. It's like, we had a meeting with the folks who are organizing. Hey, bud, want to come up here? Come hang out with me? No? Not that exciting, I know. Vice choice. So he says, we had an event meeting, and we were talking to Steve and Amy, particularly Amy, and Amy said, well, make sure whatever you do, you get somebody up there to speak who actually embodies what it is that Steve teaches. And I was like, oh, that's lovely. Did you guys find that person? And Raghav goes, that person is you. Amy says that it should be you. And I think the minute I heard that, and I was like, yeah, of course I'll be there. You see, I love Amy. I love Amy. She is as pure as anyone you have ever met. When I started coaching with Steve, my life was a mess. In a beautiful way. I mean, it was a crazy mess. I was enjoying lots of it. But I have had a chance to spend time with Amy, and here's what I'll tell you, like simply put. If there's no Amy, there's no Steve. You've heard Steve say that, it is 100% true. If there's no Steve, there's no Karan. Well, we're off to a good start. So when I heard that Amy wanted me to be here and speak, it was a done deal. I was going to do that. So, Amy, would you stand for a moment? Would you allow me the honor of letting everybody here acknowledge you? Please, a big round of applause for Amy Blake Hardison, Steve's girlfriend, and my crush. Steve, you're not needed. Can you just, instead of saying, why don't you hug me, can you just enjoy that we're hugging? Got my eye on you. Great. The second person I want to acknowledge is my buddy Alan. If there's no Alan, there's no Book of Being. Think about that. If there's no Book of Being, we ain't here. So if the people who are organizing this event are the mothers and fathers of this event, Alan is the granddaddy because he birthed it all, right? And if you guys had a sense for just the sheer amount of work this man has done in order to compile, I mean, we spent a bunch of time talking on the phone, and I'm a a sliver of the book. And if I extrapolate that with what the book looks like, my head explodes, right? And you guys, that's not his job. You understand that? He has made this much money. That's commitment, right? So Alan, not only are you good looking, you got that beautiful accent, and you're just an incredible human being, and none of us would be here without the work you've done to put this book together. So I love you, I appreciate you, and I'm going to see you in Perth, October 27th. Last but not least, for all of the folks who have organized this event, would you please stand up one more time, Raghav, Ankush, everybody associated with organizing the event today. Matt, happy birthday, you big stud. Guys, give him a big round of applause. Like, logistics for things like this, it's incredibly difficult. Thank you for doing that. It's, I mean, the logistics of putting something like this together are tremendous, and really appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you for getting us together in this magical place, and I think the promise was we'll create some magic, so let's fucking do that. Who's in? All right, so first magical thing. You know, one of my favorite things is celebrating, so we're going to celebrate one more person. And would you join me in singing happy birthday to a very special man who just had a 36th birthday? Yeah, let's go. Get up here. Get up here. Look at this handsome stud. All right, we ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you big hunkin' stud. Happy birthday to you. I love it.
Thank you.
36 looks good on you, my friend. Fine bottle of wine, aging brilliantly. Okay, so what are we going to talk about?